English. I work in the outreach team of London Metropolitan University. Welcome to the In Conversation With series. Today I'm with Patrick Mulrenan, course leader for Community Development and Leadership. Hi Patrick, how are you?
Hello Marina, I'm very well indeed, and thanks for this opportunity.
Well, Community Development and Leadership, what is that?
That's a very good question. It'll take 3 years to develop the answer in full to that question. Basically, it's a course which looks at the role of communities in our lives, and that's come out particularly recently, of course, with the COVID-19 crisis. There's been a lot of publicity about supermarkets being stripped of all the food, which tends to feed the view that the communities are not as strong as they used to be. But of course, there's very, very positive signs that communities are returning, that people are happy to help one another. And I think in a lot of ways, British people and other people, they just need an excuse. They need an excuse to talk to their neighbours, to talk to people in the local area, and to offer the sorts of support and friendship that they need. So in some ways, it seems very odd, but it's a very positive time for community development. And the course is designed for those people who want to, work with their communities. But obviously, a lot of our students are interested in getting paid jobs. So it's very much about getting people into employment in community-related jobs. So that could be in the health service, it could be in housing, it could be in the private sector. Our students go into a wide variety of jobs.
What about placements? Do you have any placements in your degree course?
Well, I'm glad you asked me, Marina, because we have got placements. We've actually got a full placement of 30 days in year 3, where you find a placement within London usually, because obviously that's where we're based. There's many, many organisations which are looking for people to help out. And what we find is with that placement is often our students get their first job with their placement provider. Because if you think about it, for placement providers, why advertise for a job when you've got a student who's doing the job really well and is a positive asset to your organisation? So many of our students start off from their placements, and then when they've got the range of experience in their placement, they move on to other jobs.
What skills and attributes or qualities do you think would make a good community development and leadership student?
Looking at the students we've got now, we've got a very wide range of students. Most of our students are mature. We tend to get students, mainly female students, and often it's when their children are going to school and want to engage in universities, have time when they're not being mum and they're actually a university student. But in terms of attributes, we're looking for people who are interested in volunteering, people who want to make a difference. And that could be in paid work, but also could be in voluntary work as well, is making a difference to society, people who've got a real commitment. And people who, for example, taking recent examples, would be interested in what's happening in the world and supporting people to fight, for example, racism. So we have a lot of publicity recently, of course, about things like Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, absolutely.
And about statues being dragged down, and COVID-19, of course.
Yeah.
So we're looking for students who are willing to take a stand, students who are willing to, really believe in what they believe in, and to take out that sense of social justice when they leave the university.
And if I were a new student coming in September, is there a particular resource, a book or something I could be looking at now, getting ready for the course?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't suggest reading loads and loads and loads of books before you come on, but there are a couple of books. So we do have, we're quite an open group of people. We're a good team. So if you were starting the course, I'd expect to be in contact with you before you started, have a chat with you, find out what your interests are, and maybe recommend some reading. But my main advice would be to look at the news. Look at all the stuff in the news. Look at the knife crime in London. Look at Black Lives Matter. Look at statues being pulled down. Look at think about the reasons behind that. And it's really about you getting an interest in the subject more than immediately diving into a very thick book about community development. Right. I wouldn't recommend you start with a theoretical book, because they're quite hard to read, but we lead you gently down that road.
And for people who might be applying next year, when they have to write a personal statement as part of their application, have you got any tips that they should put in their personal statement for your course?
Yeah, I mean, what we're really interested in is people who are interested in the topic. So you may have, for example, done some voluntary work. You might, you might have experienced your own family doing voluntary work and helping your own family, but also you might have done voluntary work, charity work. We're really interested in that.
Well, Patrick, thank you very much for talking to me as part of the In Conversation With series. Thanks very much.
No problem at all.